Hello, it's me. Wait, is this in the lift up?
One of my favorite teachers at the Abbey is Miss Rice. She teaches my French for Honors class. And whenever it's someone's birthday in class, she puts on this ridiculous Minion song and makes us all sing along.
My fifth form history teacher, Mr. Giddis, has been an incredible teacher and house parent, and really has influenced me in and out of the classroom.
I've really enjoyed taking classes with both Michelettis. I've had Mrs. Micheletti for art history and ancient history, and Mr. Micheletti all 4 years for Latin. And I just love their energy and the passion that they deliver in class.
So last year, Mr. Brown was my English teacher, and every time he talked, he would use his hands a lot and really bring you into the conversation, and you could really experience the book and not just learn the text.
This past winter term, we studied Paradise Lost by John Milton in my humanities course. I found it super interesting once I really sat down and deciphered the language. I had an awesome teacher, Mr. Zeldin, who was super ecstatic every single class when he was teaching about it.
So my favorite teacher is Mr. Wilson, and he teaches me computer science and physics. He's really, really funny. Even though he looks really serious, he's not.
Mr. Green is my biology teacher, and he's so passionate about science, and he's always trying to come up with fun, creative ways to get us super excited about biology.
The coolest thing I've studied at the Abbey is definitely Chinese. My old school had never offered Chinese, they'd only ever offered Spanish and French, and when I got here I just thought that was the coolest thing ever.
So last year in ancient history, we learned a lot about places like Rome and Mesopotamia, but the coolest thing in that class, and ultimately what I've studied so far, has been the rise and fall of Rome and people like Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar.
I think the coolest thing that I've learned here at the Abbey is the conquevia, the 5 ways that you can discover and logically prove that God exists.
In Dr. Bonin's AP English class, he taught us about the history of the English language, and he went over all of these words that we use every day, and it was just so interesting to learn about where they come from.
Chemistry with Mrs. Brady, we were working with elements and how it changed a certain chemical's color depending on what element. With cobalt, it turns blue.
This past winter, my basketball team played Dana Hall. It was a super close game the whole time, and I would say in the last 10 minutes, about 30 guys showed up in full lacrosse helmets. They had flags waving around, everyone was just screaming. It just showed so much school spirit and how everyone just comes together for things like that and just really supports each other. We did win in the end, which was really great.
Girls varsity hockey made the championship game for the first time ever.
I never did acting before I came to the Abbey. This year we did the Addams Family musical and I actually got the lead. And that's just one of the great things about the Abbey is that you can try new things and not be afraid of what other people are going to think, and sometimes you end up being really good at them.
I placed in New England my first time doing hurdles. With the help of a few seniors and track coaches, I was able to do it.
Being an editor on the Beacon newspaper was a huge accomplishment for me.
One of the biggest achievements I have had in the Abbey is I became a swimming captain in my 6th form year.
In my junior year, I applied to be a Haney Fellowship recipient, and I was awarded one with my twin sister. And for the month of June, we went to Tibet to do research with Tibetan teens.
My biggest accomplishment is probably being elected head boy, which is the head of the student body.
This fall in JV soccer, I scored my first goal of my life, and it was revolutionary.
At the Abbey, you get to make lots of friends through all your activities and living in the dorm.
One of the greatest experiences about the Abbey is meeting kids from all over the world.
Saturday nights, most people like to stay on campus after they get back from their sports games or whatever it is that they've been doing that afternoon. I find that myself as a day student, I want to be on campus. I mean, the days do sound really long, but there's nowhere else that you would want to be because that's where all your friends are, and it's just a ton of fun hanging out with everyone every single day, all the time.
One of my most recent memorable moments would be Florida preseason. Every year, varsity sailing goes down to Florida, and we sail. There's a lot of team bonding.
Last spring term, we played ultimate frisbee every single day, every day.
One of the most memorable moments with my friends, there are a lot, but I say one of my favorite ones is when we're all in a cover room watching the Family Feud, and we're like yelling at the screen and yelling the answers out.
In the winter, my whole basketball team would have team dinners, and we would talk at dinner and just hang out for like an hour at a time, and every single night for 2 months.
A really unforgettable moment was when Brother Joseph allowed me and 2 of my friends to go up to the top of the wind turbine to watch a lunar eclipse.
A memorable moment I had with the Abbey was the Chile trip, because we went to Santiago, toured around, worked with the Chileans, helped build houses. There's a bunch of companionship worked on spirituality and a lot of the Abbey virtues.
Portsmouth Abbey is home.
Portsmouth Abbey is nurturing.
Portsmouth Abbey is really a place where there's a lot of independence, but at the same time, it's much like a community where there's a lot of people always around you.
Portsmouth Abbey is a family.
Portsmouth Abbey is demanding but rewarding.
Portsmouth Abbey is a place where you will feel you belong.
Portsmouth Abbey is companionship with adventure.
Portsmouth Abbey has let me grow up and mature on my own, which is something I don't know if I could have found at home at this time period.
My Abbey experience has been transformative.
You will not regret coming to the Abbey.
Portsmouth Abbey's a family.
It's the best 4 years of my life.
I think a senior quote that we had last year was, "You don't know the good days until they're gone," and yeah, I have to say the Abbey is definitely the good days.
I like the waves, I rise up, in spite of the ache, I rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. The silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And for that we have each other, and we will rise, we will rise, we'll rise, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up. In spite of the ache, I will rise 1,000 times.